welcome to episode 52 of the Slow Crafting Podcast. My name's Nadine and I'm coming to you today from the northwest of England near Manchester. Now this is a podcast or vlog about trying to incorporate a slow living or slow fashion agenda into my making, be it crochet, knitting, sewing, spinning, whatever. Now, having said that, quite a few of the fabric, the materials in today's show and tell are not the most sustainable, but they have a story, so I will get on with it. Right, I mentioned last time that I was going to break down the things that I've been working on over lockdown into sort of theme types. So this week I'm going to talk to you about what I crocheted during lockdown. Now, when lockdown first started, I couldn't concentrate on any projects other than crochet. It is my default stress relief craft. I don't know why, but I know when I first had both of my children, I couldn't knit when they were tiny babies. I just crocheted everything. So I think I had a similar response to lockdown. But it did help in ticking off some unfinished projects. Now, I don't know if you remember far back in the dim and distant past, pre-lockdown, I mentioned wanting to work through a list of projects that had been hanging around for, in some case, years, that were unfinished and needed finishing. And one of those projects was the Attic 24 ripple blanket that my mum had given me as a kit, possibly 2 years ago for Christmas. Now, this is where the not so terribly sustainable materials comes in. The yarn used in the blanket is 100% acrylic. Now, as this blanket will live in my house and be used regularly, I'm not, and because it was a gift, I'm not massively against it being acrylic, because it'll take a lot of abuse, especially if I let my children near it. So I mean, there is obviously the issue of it shedding microfibres and microplastics into the ocean, but as it's a blanket, it won't be washed as often as another a garment or something would be, mainly because it lives in the spare bedroom and doesn't get used by said children or have the cat sleeping on it and things. So anyway, yes, it was, yeah, the cottage colourway, and I shall show you it. It's massive. So I've got really jingly bracelets on today, sorry. There you go, you can see the edge in there as well. I'll put some pictures in of it laid out flat on the floor. There was a ridiculous number of ends to weave in, because I think there's, yeah, 84 stripes, 2 ends per stripe, and then the border. So yeah, you're looking at knocking on for about 200 ends to weave in on this one, which is fun. Oh, I've just forgot, I've left another project upstairs, but never mind, I'll just put a picture of that one in. So yes, anyway, this one, I think I was only about a third of the way done. It fits a single bed. It's that gives you a rough idea of size, and it is very soft to say it's acrylic, and I do love it, and because it was a present from my mum, I love it even more, even though, like I say, It is acrylic. Yeah, it was very straightforward. I think I'd done loads of it when I first got given it, so I think I'd cast it on. I started working on it pretty much as soon as Christmas had gone. I'm like, oh, beginning of January, and I was doing at least one colour a day, and I think I got a third of the way through it and went and ran out of steam, and then it got shelved for about a year. I think I did have another spurt of working on it at one point, but then when lockdown came around, I'm like, I can do this. I can fit this in around the homeschooling, I can fit this in around everything else, and I don't have to think about it. So yes, it's very colourful, it's very jazzy, and it's very me. Right, so that was that one. Now another, oh actually before I mention that, now I did have some yarn left over from that project, so I decided to just start work on an ugly shawl with using up the scraps that I had. Now unfortunately it's not quite big enough to wear as a shawl, so I'm going to have to delve into my rest of my stash if I ever want to finish it off. But yes, so this will just be a random project for adding bits to as and when I uncover long lost acrylic stash, and it'll eventually land as an ugly blanket that just lives on the back of the settee for either myself or my girls to snuggle up in while we watch telly. Oh, incidentally, the ripple blanket that I made, my partner did try and claim dibs on it. As I was working on it, it's like, oh, that's very nice. Is that for me? No. And then I'd work on it a bit more. It's very nice, isn't it for me? No, it's not. So yes, he's very sad that he can't have that blanket. But I worked on it, so it's mine. Right, I've realised a second project that I've not thought about, that's crochet. I'll just add pictures in of these. Now, one unfinished object from my list of many unfinished objects was a blackout blind that I was working on for the girls' bedroom. Now, it was crocheted in rainbow squares, just bog standard motifs, and I was planning on lining it with a blackout lining, and I'd got the squares worked and done, and I just needed to do the rest and talk my other half into fixing up some kind of pole or curtain rail to hold it. And I'd tried sewing the backing on and putting some extra bits on to make it a bit wider, and in the end I'm just like, no, that's not going to work, it's too heavy, it's going to be a faff to roll up and roll down. So I decided in the end, rather than slog on with something that wasn't working, I unpicked the backing, and then I wove in all the ends, which was a bit of a pain, because when I was putting the backing on I thought, oh, I don't need to weave in the ends because you won't see them. Took the backing off, had to weave them in. So I wove all the ends in. Yeah, several ends, and then decided that could just live as a blanket on the back of the chair in their bedroom, so that when myself or my partner go in to tell bedtime stories, we've got a blanket there for if it's cold. So, and it matches all the decor in their bedroom, because it was obviously meant to go in there in the first place. And that was using some cotton. I can't remember what cotton it was. It's been in progress, because 2 years, 2.5, because I think we decorated their bedroom sort of April time 2 years ago, and I was sorry about that, my storage filled up. So I was saying, yes, the cotton square, rainbow squares blanket was started 2 years ago in about April time. So that's now finished, ends woven in the girls' bedroom. I will insert a picture here. And that's one more ticked off my list of many unfinished projects done. Right, the other one that I've forgotten to bring with me, it was just a little thing. I had been wearing a lot of headscarves during lockdown if I went outside, to keep my hair out of my face and stop me touching my face so often. But I decided it was a little bit warm sometimes for wearing them, so I just wanted something that kept this bit down. And I did see that the Amy Beth, Fat Squirrel Speaks, had crocheted herself just a little granny square headscarf. So I dug out my scrap of fingering weight sock wool and I crocheted myself one of those. Doesn't particularly suit me, but it kept my hair out of my face and was quite good. I need to dig that back out actually, because I'd put it to one side when it got too hot over the summer, because there was no way I was putting wool on my head in the middle of summer most of the time, because I was wearing my big sun hat to keep the sun out of my eyes, but I wasn't putting wool on my head either. But I need to dig that back out now. It's a bit cooler. That might go alright. It would have worked well with this dress I've got on today actually, as it's the similar colour scheme. But I'll add a picture here. Of that one. Yes, this dress, by the way, is the Metamorphic dress by Meg from So Liberated, and it's blue on the inside because it's reversible. But this is made from some old bed sheets, an old duvet cover that I recycled, but I'll talk more about it when I come to my sewing video. Right, a couple more projects left and then that's it. And now, something that I started for an outfit again a couple of years ago was a crocheted shawl. I think it was to go with the blue and white outfit that I made. So I made the Ingrid cardigan and well, top thing that's all Fair Isle and boxy and blue and white, and then I made the stitched shibori sort of tie-dyed blue and white Japanese smock, and I made some, I think I knitted some socks as well, and the other thing that I intended to go with it was this shawl. Now I think I showed it at the time because I had finished it, but my intention was to write up the pattern, because this was the second time I'd done this design. The first time was for my daughter and I did it in a plain blue. And I thought, oh, I really like this, I will write it up, but then didn't. So I then made another one to try and remember exactly how I'd done it and write it down at the same time. So, oh, the wool in here, the grey is from Lenitium Ex Machina. Yeah, Lenitium Ex Machina, and it's the Eurydice colourway, and the blue is from Natural Born Dyers and it's the Stormy Skies colourway, I think. And then I knitted another one, but this time with tassels, because I've been watching a lot of Sandra from Cherry Heart and she does love a tassel, and I'm beginning to share her enthusiasm for them. So yes, this is the next one that I made during lockdown. Now the wool that I used for this is from a local indie dyer, Magpie and Goblin, and it was 2 skeins of a, she doesn't do repeatable colourways, she basically does random one of a kinds, but she'll maybe do 2 or 3 skeins at a time. and there was 2 of these, and she put a call out at the beginning of lockdown in a bit of a panic as to how she was going to feed her animals, because she has goats and things, and so she had a bit of a sale to get rid of some of her stock before the shops closed completely, so that she did have a bit of money to tide her over for feeding her animals during lockdown, before all the things got put in place for supporting small businesses and what have you. But because it's just around the corner from my house, it was just such a ridiculous situation, because I got really excited and I'm like, I want to do something to help somebody, but I also, very selfishly, I wanted the wool. And it was like, as soon as she'd listed it, I'd seen it, and I messaged her and I'm like, right, I'm coming now. And so confused my other half, because I'm like, right, I'm leaving the house, and he's like, what? We're just sat having a nice evening or weekend. This is because it was before lockdown. I'm like, I know, but I'm going. I'm just going to Sarah's shop. So I dashed around to the corner, paid my money, and ran back home with my skeins of wool, and then crocheted it up into this beauty. Now, my plan for this week is to get the pattern typed up and finished, because I had to take some photos for it that I'd not done. So I've done that now, and now I just need to finish working on the format for the pattern, and then hopefully either this week or next I will get it released. Now, normally I just release my patterns on Ravelry, but because of all the issues around accessibility Ravelry's had recently, I am going to try and see if I can set it up on another platform like Love Crafting. It used to be Love Knitting. I'm not sure how whether that's any better than Ravelry for people with accessibility issues, but if anybody knows, please feel free to comment below, or if anybody knows of a different or better platform for hosting pattern, so that people have alternatives. Okay, but I will let you know when I've posted that, because I will probably give you podcast viewers a coupon code to get it, probably for free actually, because it just makes life easier. Right, last project. Now this is my current whip, crochet whip, and it's based on patterns from this book called Granny Square Flare. I don't know if that's reversed for you, probably is. And I bought this for myself last Christmas, and that because I thought I just loved all these patterns worked in a single colour, and I thought, oh, I'd love a big blanket crocheted out of these patterns. So my plan was originally to make something for myself, because I am a selfish crafter and I do like making myself lots of things. However, for Mother's Day this year, so just before lockdown, my sister and I had said to my mum, right, your present for Mother's Day this year is that we'll take you to the Wool Monty in Sheffield, which was a wool show in Sheffield. It's going to be the second year of it this year, which happens in June. obviously that didn't go ahead because nowhere was open. However, the organisers decided to do a virtual Wool Monty event. So I said to my mum, right, I know we can't take you, but I will buy you something from one of the vendors during that weekend as an alternative present. And asked if she wanted me to just pick randomly or whether she wanted to pick herself. Now, my mum's not good with lots of choice, so basically she said, no, you pick. I'll have whatever you give me. So, as blue is her favourite colour, as is mine, I decided to buy her some hanks, I think the 200 gram hanks. I'm just looking to see if I've got any. I probably have in there, but I can't get at them without disrupting everything. Yeah, 200 gram hanks of fingering weight wool from Woolly Knits, which is the shop that was just down the road from my house until it closed end of last year. But they just do online sales now, and they had some really good deals. So these 200 grams of 100% pure wool were like £5 each. So I bought 3 of them in this beautiful blue colour. I don't know, it's looking a bit greeny grey on there. It's called Kielder is the blue, because I think they're all named after lakes or areas, like local, not local, but areas in Britain. So I have a pile of squares in different motifs, and I've got them all joined up together because I worked out a pattern that I want, and I worked out how many I need to do in each square. So this is my stack that I've done so far. I need to do a lot more, and then I need to work out how I'm going to join them together. I know, lots to do. But yeah, that's eaten up hardly any of my yarn so far. So I think I'm going to have some left over from the 600 grams that I got for her blanket. But yeah, so that'll be an ongoing project for however long it takes. I did start off all guns blazing and got right into it and then stopped. So I'm hoping it doesn't take as long as the ripple blanket. Now during the Wool Monty weekend I did buy some more fibre for myself, but I will show you that in a separate video. Right, I think that's everything. I did get a crochet book during lockdown, and I had thought about talking to you about that here in this video, but it's up there on the shelf and I can't be bothered to get it. I know I'm so lazy, but it just means I will have to do a separate video for the books, so I'll do all the books together. I'm sorry if my bracelet jingling is annoying people today. I should have taken it off before I podcasted. There we go, the last 5 minutes without it. Yeah, I'm just looking at the bookshelf to see if there's anything else. No. So yes, this is my current crochet work in progress, and I think I've probably got about 100 more squares to do on that, plus the joining. It's good to have long-term projects, right? Yeah, yeah. Right, next time hopefully I'll talk to you about what I've been sewing. Now, I said that last time I recorded, it was actually quite a long time ago. It was about 3 weeks actually, but I didn't post it until last week because I'd said, oh yes, I'll record next week and it'll be brilliant, and then children came home with coughs and a temperature, and we spent a week in isolation waiting for tests and test results. They were fine, we were all fine, it was just a cold, but it meant that nothing happened for an entire week, which is why I only posted it last week, and I've only got around to recording this week. So to you out there, it looks like nothing happened, but I know that there was quite a big gap between recording last time and recording this time. So hopefully I'll get this edited and uploaded later on this week. It's running a bit long now. I was hoping to get it under 20 minutes, but I don't think it will be. But never mind. Right, in the meantime, everybody take care, and I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.